Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Sam's Bros Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on this Italian stump pine. First, let's have a look at the tree. See, it's pretty dense. There's not much trunk exposed down here at the bottom. Nice opening on this side, so this may eventually be the front. And there's actually some nice, it's hard to see here, but there's some nice curvature in the trunk from this angle. So this may end up being the front of the tree. So first things first, let's see if we can put this out here. And then let's see if we can actually pull the tree out of the pot. Let's move it down to the bottom here. There we go. So I'm not going to do much root work right now, but I am going to just see if I can see how far the soil goes down, see if we can get down to the root base, the actual root base, instead of the top of the soil. You can see there's quite a bit of there's a couple of roots here, but there's still quite a bit of trunk before we get our first real ring of radial roots, if any. Oh, this is a lot of dense root right here. It looks like we have kind of an uneven root base. Just trying to get some of this dirt out of the way. Being a bit rough here because these surface roots are probably going to get trimmed off right now anyway, because they're way too high. But other than that, I won't be doing any major root work to this. But you do need to see where your root base is when you start trying to train your canopy, because even though we had a spot where we thought there's a natural break in the trunk line here, if the nabari on this side is still really, really bad, you may still want to use the other side. So a lot of little tangled up roots in here. Quite a bit more down here. Quite a bit of bare trunk down here. see I'm into this. Yeah, I honestly think that there's might have to stick to the roots at this level for now. So that'll be okay. That'll be fine. I'll just leave those on. Let me try to pull some of these into a more radial position if I can. This one up top, I think I'm gonna have to put. So I'm just coming straight up from this little bulge of roots here. Just gonna cut that one off. And maybe this one that's coming back up from in here. I don't want that. You can see this pot definitely didn't have good drainage, so there's a bunch of looks like rotting roots down here. So I'm just going to clear this up too, just to help the health of the tree when I plant it back in. Get rid of some of the rotting organic material. Now, what we can do is, again, we can go back to where we saw the front of the tree. It's mostly an upright shape here, but it is a pretty good slight S-curve. And there is a forward-facing branch here that I can use as the new leader. It's got a nice bit of taper there, so that's good. And this spot is also okay, but again, we'd have to make it a little bit of a shorter tree here because we'll get rid of this. Although maybe we could wire it out like that. That could be nice. I think I'm going to just pick this natural front though for now. And since I'm not going to be removing a whole lot, it should look good from either side, so we may be able to restyle it later if we choose. Okay, so first things first, we gotta decide, do we want this low branch here? It's a bit low. I'm gonna keep the tree, like I said, I think I'm gonna use this as the leader. Maybe this little apex here. So the tree is gonna be about that high. So we want about 1/3 of the trunk. So maybe this might be a bit too low. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. And I'll come back and clean these up with the concave pruners once we're all done here. Branch here, but this one's actually in the back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take it off now. I don't need I don't necessarily want a sacrifice branch there. I was gonna say I could leave it as a sacrifice branch and let it thicken up the trunk, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay, again, I'm gonna rough cut it and clean it up. And okay, so again, this is our front. I think that's an okay place to start a branch. So I'm gonna keep this one. But we got a couple of them coming out of the same spot, and because this is the lowest branch, I definitely want to keep the thicker ones. So I'm going to trim off these smaller shoots growing in here at the same spot. And now we can start working on this branch. So we got a shoot coming in here a little bit too soon. I don't want it to start branching that soon, so I'm going to take that shoot out. This one is a pretty thick branch coming back towards the center, so you can see here the branch kinks out that way and then comes back in. So I'm going to take that off. There we go. And then I can wire that down. Okay. Next up we have this branch, which again has a few shoots coming in at the same spot, so I'm going to take those right off. Don't want that. Too many branches coming out of the same spot, basically more than one, will result in a bulge. You can already see a bit of that here. You can already see a bit of that there, right? That bulge building up where there's multiple branches coming out of the same spot. Same here. So we're going to have to get rid of one of these two. But first let's focus up on cleaning this one up. So again, this is the back of the tree, so I think I'm gonna get rid of this one because it's just not gonna do well, and it's a bit too close to the tree for branching. I want it to, the ramification to get tighter to the trunk as it goes up, if possible. Okay, I think I'm gonna get rid of the thicker branch here, just because one, it's actually thicker than the ones below it, and that looks unnatural. You want the thicker branches to be lower. And two, this one here is actually more towards the back, so we can get our first back branch growing, which will help us give depth to the design. So here we go. Nice big branch coming off. I'm also going to take off these little shoots, again for the same reason as I mentioned earlier. Again, this one's kind of too close and growing up. I don't want that. I want to encourage horizontal growth and keep the pads flat. There's another one kind of growing upwards here. I'm going to get rid of that as well. And these are getting really long too, so I'm going to just come in and give it a bit of a rough trim. Same with these two. I kind of want to encourage more back budding, and I'll take that one that's shooting up. And we take off that one that's shooting up. And this one that's kind of growing inward. Okay. This one again, this is getting real long without anything good going. Same here. Again, there's a good bud right here, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Just gonna shorten that. Okay, now I have this weird thing going on here where there's this big thick part of this branch. Looks like it's actually broken. Where it's growing back, it kind of shoots out this way and then immediately goes back. So, taking that off. I'm going to shorten this too. I'm not really a fan of how long it is, so just cut that. Okay, moving up, so we got these. So we got our first few branches here. We got 1, 2, and 3 branches. This one coming straight out at the viewer, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. And this little other shoot coming off. Now we got a lot of stuff going on here. It's real dense right here. So I'm just gonna clear it out. Looks like we got this big shoot actually comes up straight from here, so get rid of that straight away. Just kind of cleaning that up a bit. Okay. And this one's actually straight on top of the other one. Not sure I'm a fan of that. I don't know. I don't really like that. But what we can do is get rid of the stuff that overshadows it. So stuff that goes down, the stuff that's growing more towards the front, and then we can kind of keep this branch maybe towards the front and this one a little more towards the back. And that'll help us keep both these branches healthy. I'm going to trim this one a bit back though. There's a shoot here that I can use as the branch leader. Get rid of these ones coming up. And these ones drooping down. And in fact, I might even get rid of this or trim this back a bit. There we go. So it's a bit more compact and again more towards the back of the tree. Okay. That gets that branch a bit cleaner. Then we got again we got another branch like directly above it. I'm just gonna remove that as well. So we've got a little spider egg sac there or something. Yeah, I like this. I like the position of this branch better because this is our first true real back branch. So that'll really help us get that depth that we need in the design. Yeah. I'm gonna clean this up a bit though. Just gonna get rid of that. Probably gonna trim that back to there. Let me get rid of this whole branch altogether. There's a couple of shoots shooting up in here. Don't want that. And there's a couple of branches that are interfering, or shoots that are interfering, so I'm gonna just get rid of those. So now we got more separation between those two pads. We can wire those down, make them look a bit better. We got another crossing shoot right there. Okay, so that's that. I'm just gonna clean up these old needles off of here. Okay. Ideally, I'd want some tighter ramification there. Maybe I should have kept one of these earlier ones, but it is towards the back, so you're not going to immediately notice that in the design. And then moving up, we got another branch here. Just going to clean out some of the old needles and tiny shoots clogging up this area. Just so we can see a bit better. Okay. And then there's this big branch here that kind of just comes straight up. Don't want that. Let's get the thicker pruners here for that one. go. Okay, so we got, and you can see here too, the way that I'm kind of doing this is like, you know, there's this much room before the next branch, and there's this much room, and there's a little, maybe a little bit bigger here, but a little shorter here. I'm trying to get the spacing shorter as I get closer to the apex, because you do see that, if you look at old trees, you'll see that the apex is typically denser. And then I'm just going to, let's see. Yeah, these start to look a bit like ladders here, so maybe I can wire this up and bend this in a better direction. Again, so it's not over top of the other ones. So we'll keep that. I don't think we're going to keep this one though. So we have to have something to fill this space. But these two being too close together, especially when we have our back branch is already right here. So yeah, let's get rid of that. Now we can see our nicer back branch a bit more. We got this one, and then this one. And then again, this is where I'm going to trunk chop. So I'm actually going to, for now, keep this thick branch, but I'm probably going to get rid of this. I'll keep this as an apex. Let's just rough cut that. There we go. And then we can keep some of these as an apex. For now, I'll keep some of these smaller shoots up in the apex again, just because I want to maintain that, you know, dense apex look. But I will actually take it a little bit back to here and use this new shoot here as the leader, and trim that down, trim that down, trim that down. So we got a bit of an apex. And then actually, I think what I'll do is I'll keep this thin wispy branch here, because that can be easily wired into a better position. And I'll just wire that to the back. Shorten that down to this little bud here. See that little bud there? And then I can wire that down, and that way we can keep something growing there, but it'll kind of disguise that big nasty branch that we cut off. And I think I'm going to take this little guy off too. Okay. Now again, just going in and kind of cleaning up some of the old needles off the trunk. Making it look nice and giving us a better view of what's going on. Okay, so now just going to try to create a general conical shape here. So I might have to prune this a bit hard back. I'm just going to take that off there. Leave this new shoot. Hopefully that'll be enough foliage to draw the sap through. There's a couple of buds here, so I'm hoping that'll be enough. Tighten that up there. There's a couple of there's a shoot growing over here. A little bit smaller. There. Get that a little smaller. Trim this all the way back to here because there's a fresh bud. So there's a fresh bud right there. Okay. Trim that back to fresh bud right there. Trim that back again. And trim that back. I'll actually take off this one coming up from the top. And take this one off as well. And then these I'm just going to give them a bit of a trim. Oops. Take that one coming up off. Actually, I think I'll cut this back to there. You can see there's a couple of shoots coming down. That's perfect. Take this one growing off the inside. Since that one is supposed to be the back branch, I think I might actually come in here and take this off entirely. And then we have, you know, some branching in here. You know what, maybe more like that, just so those ones aren't interfering, and I'll cut this one a bit more like that. I'm going to take off the shoot that's coming in towards the center. And then I think I'm going to take this one off here. There's two buds there, one shooting this way and one shooting towards the viewer. There's actually a couple of buds right here too. There's this bit that's kind of crowding up the apex. So I think I might end up taking that branch off. It might look better without it. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, so again, looking from the front of the tree. And this one here, I cut that back to there. There's one bud on either side. Actually, I might take it back even further, because there's two buds here. Okay, and I think that's it for for trimming. Now let's see if we can wire it up and make it look a little better. So, got myself some wire here, so I'm just going to see how much I need. Not that much. Okay. There we go. Wire those into a bit nicer position. Both kind of slightly leaning towards the mirror, giving you that spreading, hugging person look. Moving on to the next two branches. Again, you always want to wire two branches at once, just so that you have something to anchor to, so that it's not just loose. It gives you leverage. Try to go in between in between the small shoots and try not to trap any foliage. Okay. To damage these try not to damage the shoots at the tip here if possible. Trying to loosely leave the end a little loose there. Okay, again, this one is our back branch, so just trying to keep that, filling that empty space there. And then I think I'm going to need a second piece of wire to wire these two little branches. Smaller wire for them. And I'm going to go all the way up to this apex with it. Okay. In this case, I'm not really worried about trapping the needles because this is old wood. Oh, got a little bit of split there. That should be alright. This should actually heal over. As long as there's green wood underneath, it should be okay. I think I'm gonna get rid of that actually. Okay. Just trying to make sure, what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that these two branches don't conflict, so there's not, so one's not shading the other out. Okay. Again, just clearing out some old foliage. And I think I'm gonna just take the tip off that and clean that up a little bit, make that a little bit shorter and more compact. And I think I'll wire these two branches and then I'll leave the apex as is. And yeah, that should be it for this tree. We can pot it back up. And it'll start its life as a bonsai tree. Actually, a little bit more on this side. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to get these to bend a bit downward as much as possible. And slightly back up at the tips. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta go in and clean up those cuts. So starting down here at the bottom, let's go ahead and just kind of cut that big knob out. Just like that. And then this one at the back, I'm going to leave a bit. I'll leave a bit of it, just because I don't want to, because these are at the same level, I don't want to constrict. I want there to be as much sap flow between these cuts as possible, so it doesn't, you know, hinder the health of the tree, of the foliage above it. There we go, and there we go. There we go. Okay. Again, these are some pretty big scars that are going to be left, but it will heal over eventually. And it will eventually look like a really cool bonsai. I'm going to take a bit off of here just to again hide that transition from that big thick old branch to that new leader that we took advantage of. So here's the finished product. Let's get it back in the pot. So I'm just gonna keep it in the same pot for a while. So, get it back down there. raising it up a bit in the pot here, just to get those roots off the bottom of the pot. I'm gonna do a full repot of this in spring, so I'm just gonna top it off with whatever bonsai soil I have laying around. I don't really have a whole lot. Just snip that off. I'm just gonna cut off some of these roots that are just sticking up that aren't gonna ever go down. I think I am going to cut some of those roots off after all. Yeah, I cut so much of this foliage off, it should be fine. In theory, it shouldn't harm the tree really at all. So long as we don't get any hard frosts, which we don't really get here ever. So. I'm just gonna cut that one out then. I should get rid of a lot of this stuff. Yeah, these roots are just growing in every direction. Okay, so for now I'm just going to cut these off just below the soil level and up to the tree. And yeah, I'll sort these out a bit more when I fully repot it in spring. There we go. There's a bit nicer roots down below, so. Okay. Now, I'm just going to come in here and clean up a bit of these root prunings. Okay. Okay, here we go. Just gonna mark the front here. And here we go. Here's the final product. There we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope to see you around soon.